Oh, it is
Yep.
well.
Alrighty. Welcome everybody. This is Simon, and we've got William and Peric with us. Oliver just dropped out. Obviously having a few problems, but I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. The purpose of this quick call is what we're going to do is a little team challenge, and the aim is 30 days, 3 members. So what we're going to try and do is set out a fairly simple, straightforward method of marketing, and I'll see if I can actually just do a screenshot. I'm just going to put a sticky note up here so that can you guys see that? All right. What we're going to try and do is make this simple and sweet. Each day I want to give people about a 1 hour task to actually do. So what we're looking at, 30 days, and the aim is to get everybody to get 3 new sign-ups in the 30 days. Quite frankly, why is that getting smaller? Oh, it looks as though that's as big as it's going to get. Can you guys read that, or?
Yeah, I can read it. I need new
All right,
glasses
good.
soon.
So yeah, the challenge, 30 days, 3 new members, and each day I'm going to post a task, and the idea is that task will be something that everybody can follow during the course of that day. It'll take them approximately 1 hour to do. It is designed to be done each day, people. It is not designed to leave it all for the weekend and then suddenly try and do 7 hours in it one hit. The whole concept about this will be to do some daily activities. We're going to get you set up the first day with a couple of simple tasks, and then after that each day is going to be some marketing activities, and the whole idea of that is to get into some consistent behaviours, some consistent patterns, and have some consistent marketing happening. So, you know, most of the guys that have worked with me for a while have heard my analogy. If you drive from Western Australia to South Australia, it's about a 24-hour drive, and there's a lot of nothing along the way. You could have the best petrol station in the world, or gas station, depending on where you come from. But if people don't know you're there, then you're never going to get any customers. So, you know, the whole thing is you've got to start doing marketing, because if you're not getting marketing out there, then nobody's going to know, and you know it's not going to be too much of a surprise to know that you're not going to create one single sale if people aren't aware of you. So even bad marketing is better than no marketing, and you know, you might even find it amusing, because at the end of 30 days, 60 days, or some of my stuff from 5 years ago, you can go back and look at it and have a laugh and say, "Oh my God, look what I was like 5 years ago." So yeah, just keep that in mind. No excuses. You can basically make money or you can make excuses. You generally can't do both. So this is an opportunity for everybody to put away the excuses and just to say, you know, let's do this. Because the whole concept of what we're trying to do here, and this is the general, you know, the e-commerce platform that we're promoting, Karatbars, the concept that you get from Boomer Dan and other people is, don't try and set the world on fire yourself. Don't try and go and sponsor 100 people yourself, because newsflash, it's very, very hard. But if you could sponsor 2 or 3 people and help them sponsor 2 or 3 people, your momentum is going to create you the income. Now, gold is gold. I'm not going to go into the explanation of why it's fantastic, why it's wonderful, except to say that you know, you don't pick up a world paper these days without seeing some form of conflict. You know, I'm very concerned with what goes on in the world at the moment. You've got, you know, how do you say it? You've got all these lines being drawn, and you know these allies creating groups and then going and bombing somebody else on the basis that they're right and they're wrong. And at the end of the day, all of this has the escalation potential to go very, very wrong. Financial markets have been going crazy for a long time, and suddenly China's starting to get into a bit of an economic slowdown. Australia's seen immediate consequences. Their dollar's the lowest it's been in a very long time, and that all flows on to everything else. So is it a good time to get gold? Absolutely, especially when it's so low. And for the average person, they can't go and buy an ounce of gold. They just don't have that kind of money sitting around to do it. And if they waited to save up to buy an ounce of gold, or even a half ounce or a quarter ounce of gold, by the time they saved up to do that, the price won't be where it is today. And I doubt very much that the price will stay low forever. So Karatbars is a great opportunity for people to be able to go and buy a bit of gold bit by bit, but at least they're getting themselves in the game. So that's all I'm going to say.
You got stereo Eric.
Sorry about that. I had to connect to another computer for
We had stereo for
safety purposes. Go on, Simon.
I thought I just saw a message from Lee saying he can hear us, but he's back now. All right, we'll put him on mute though. Good to see you, Ollie, but we'll just put you on mute. All right, where's my sticky? Let's get that back. All right. So yeah, the first one is we're just going to do simple 1 hour a day challenge that everybody can do without too much skills or knowledge or training. Now, if you don't understand what the task is, if you're having troubles, post in the group and ask for the information, or and that's the Karatbars group chat that we have, and that's the Phoenix Karatbars success team. And if you've got any other questions, put them in there. But the simple reality is, if you don't know how to start a new Facebook page or something, just Google it, or go to YouTube if you want a video of it and YouTube it, because that will get you a much faster result. You can go and look it up. You should never be stuck. If you ever get stuck, just Google it. Whatever the issue is, Google it. Or go to YouTube if you prefer videos. Some people like videos more. But there's no excuse for being stuck. You can't say, oh, I was waiting to speak to Simon because I didn't know this. If you don't know, go and Google it and just get on with it. We want to just eradicate excuses. We just want to see action. There's a great book, and it talks about being a rhino, just knocking obstacles out of the way, and that's what this is going to do. So, day one, starting today, we're going to define your perfect customer. Now, this is kind of simple. I think we've done it before in degrees, but it's absolutely critical to know who you're targeting and what you're doing. So we're going to organise this as the first one, and I'll give you an example. Like I've just and Eric kind of got me onto this mind track, but my target customer now is someone planning for retirement. Actually, I'll be more specific. Someone planning for early retirement and a high standard of living. And that, by that I mean not somebody that wants to just retire, but it's somebody that actually wants to live a good life in retirement. They don't want to be watching everything that they spend. So I'm looking, people basically are going to be in this bracket. They're going to be somewhere between 35 and say 60. I think married, it doesn't really matter a lot. Sometimes married both have different things, but married, children, you know, they've probably got a few other things on their plate if they've got children, education fees they've got to pay for and plan for and everything else. You know, they want the good things in life. Now, I want someone who's either educated or a business owner. And I want somebody that's basically, you know, had some form of success. I want somebody that's actually accustomed to achieving some form of success or knows what success is. And I want somebody that's got discipline. I want somebody that understands goal setting. To be honest, I don't care whether they're male or female. Probably easier if it's, you know, if we're getting into specifics, then I'd probably say 35 to 60-year-old male. And the reason, the more you drill down, the more you can have a direct conversation with this person. So what we're going to do here is set exactly who we want, and I'm not going to go into any further on this because this could be done for, you know, this could be quite a long process. We want to drill down exactly because eventually what we're going to do is say, right, you know, where am I going to find this person? And then that's where we're going to start sitting at it, like, you know, and I'm just going to run off a whole lot of things here that are going to give people ideas, but we're going to look at trade journals. I mean, I'll start with some of the easy ones that we all know about. LinkedIn, especially when we're talking about professional people. LinkedIn, basically LinkedIn as the adult on Facebook. But we're going to look at LinkedIn, Facebook. We can target people on Twitter. And then we can look at things like forums, you know, specific hobby, target people through hobbies. So, you know, you can look at golf or, you know, whatever it happens to be, fishing, boating, you know, luxury cars, whatever it happens to be there. And then we can do, like, you know, sports, different, you know, also include, now I for all of this prefer US and Canada, just because it's a little bit easier to deal with people there. You know, they understand the markets a bit more and all the rest of it, so it makes it a little bit easier. But again, each person could do it all. I do have some stuff based specifically on Thailand where I live, so, you know, the local market is always important as well. And then, yeah, so we go in there, we look at our LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, forums, hobby, sports, anywhere you think, you know, there might be certain magazines that you know of that, you know, people be hanging out online. So we can target all these kind of different areas, trade journals. You know, LinkedIn and Facebook have some very specific groups and everything else as well, and there's a lot of those, and we're going to talk about those more in detail later on. So we're going to look for, first of all, define your customer, and then ask ourselves the question, where will we find them? So that's the first one. Then I want everybody to order a banner or banners from Fiverr. I'll post in the group the preferred buyer, or the one that I got a whole lot from. He knows exactly what we're targeting, exactly what we're doing, so he can knock them out pretty quickly, and we're going to start using those in the near future. Sorry, that's meant to be an R. So order banner or banners from Fiverr, and details of.
Is that the same guy, Simon, that you gave us the link for?
Sorry? Yeah, that's the guy I was talking about. He does. I think for $5 he will do. I should remember this properly. I don't think I'm right. I think $5 he'll do 5 automated banners, and for $5 he'll do 10 static banners. So he can do something. He can be a little bit creative and everything else. And again, these are going to come into play with what we're going to do a little bit later on. I also want, this one may be a little bit long, but from what I've been told, you're allowed a second Facebook profile, like a second Facebook account. So what is, if you're using one now for business already, absolutely fine, go ahead and do it. I know some of the people on this call, or some of the people in our group that are not on this call, don't have a business Facebook account. I would highly recommend that you go and create a business Facebook account. Use your name, again, use your name or nickname, and that can all be based around how your online branding is set up. So, you could have a bit of fun with it, and only put people in this. Don't go and invite all your close friends and everything else unless they're business contacts as well. This is something you're going to target specifically for promotion and selling online. We're not going to make it appear like we're selling, but that's the purpose of this group. It is to find leads and to promote our brand. So use it. I know per Eric, in some forums or some venues, you'll see him just go as Eric. So, for example, he might want to set up a, if he's not already got one, if he's happy using the one he's got, fine. But, if he was to set up a new account, it might be like Eric Olsen. I can't even remember what Oliver's is, but Oliver could set up like Ollie as his account. So, you can turn it into your online branding kind of person. So that's something there. Mine is, I think my business one is called Simon and Nit Weatherall. Again, I think you should use your name, because the reason, I think you should only ever be doing ethical marketing. And if people search for you, you might as well have your stuff come up under your name, as opposed to, being hard to find. And just always be ethical, always do the right thing, and you're never going to have any problems. So start a second Facebook one, start a LinkedIn page if you don't have one, and start a Twitter account if you don't have one. If you've got, if you've got one of these all for business and everything else, then you're good to go. And also here, you can start, in LinkedIn, start a business page as well. So your business can be whatever it wants. I know William Perick have Gate One, which is their company, but it could be like, Oliver's been doing some branding as Oliver Mineski Social Media. So, that could be your business page. Something that is yours and not to be confused with somebody else, just nice and simple. So start that up and start your LinkedIn account, start a Twitter account. All of these are really easy to do. So it's not something that'll take a long time or anything else. That's pretty much going to be enough for day one, but I want everybody to go and do that. And it really is, I can't stress enough, understand what is what's in your profile. The more you can do it, the more you can target them specifically. The more you can target someone specifically, it's like you're speaking directly to them. If you can highlight, and you know, one of the things in here, so we could have like, you know, married, children, you know, worried about education costs. You know, wants the good things in life might be, you know, travel, restaurants, those kind of things. So, you know, you're kind of getting a picture of who the person is and what they're all about. So that'll help where you find them, and also help with the conversation you have with them. And I can't stress anymore, the more, if you nail this perfectly, and you nail their, I'll put it down here, if you nail their concerns and their, I guess, their pains, then the whole thing that you're trying to do is point the direction of their solution. So if you can show somebody, you know, that you know what their problem is, you can empathize with their problem, you understand it, you stir them up about their problem, and so that they're, like, you know, mad about it, but then you offer a solution, they are ironically going to love you for it. So that's what it's all about. The more you can find out the person you're dealing with, the more you can give them the solution that they're really after. So I'll give you an example. There is no point targeting a 18-year-old kid fresh out of school, you know, going to college, and start speaking to him about retirement, because he's not going to be interested in retirement. You might want to target him and talk about keg parties, or, you know, getting lots of money to buy his first car, or whatever it is. You know, if you think back, at that age, you're interested in quick, instantaneous gratification. You're not worried about, you know, what's going to happen in retirement. You've just finished college, you think you know better than, or just finished school, entering into college, university. You think you know more than any adult on the planet, and all you want to do is have money and have fun. You feel that you've been hardly done by, for like almost come out of a mini jail sentence because you've been at school for all these years. And you can't wait to get to university and run amok. So sending a message about planning for your retirement is not really going to be interesting. But sending a message about instant, like, gratification and fun through making you know, an income online while being able to study and all the rest of it would work. And that's what you've got to sit down and thinking. So the more you can get inside the person's head, you know, your virtual perfect customer, the more you can get inside their virtual head and come up with, you know, all of their concerns and provide them with the solutions, the more success you're going to have. So it is worth taking a bit of time to spend on that. So most people these days should have, you know, a Facebook account, a LinkedIn account, a Twitter account, but if you don't, they're pretty straightforward to get started. Go to facebook.com, linkedin.com, and twitter.com, and it'll come straight up there. Hey, do you want one? And I should, while we're at it, if you don't have a Gmail account, you should have Gmail. Don't use Hotmail, don't use Yahoo and all this stuff. Get a Gmail account and get a Google Plus account attached to that. Both much better to have. Given that Google is the dominant search engine in the world, then you want to be using all of their stuff because they will rank you a whole lot better. So that's pretty much day one. Just to give you a bit of an insight into a few of the things that's coming. What we're going to do is start working on each day. We're going to do slightly little bits and pieces of development so that we're going to expand our lists, and we're going to expand our potential customer base. We're going to do that by joining some Facebook groups, some LinkedIn groups, expanding our Twitter account, all of it being done on highly targeted basis and done to try and attract buyers as opposed to joining in with our competitors. Then once we start adding groups to our profile, and again, we're going to do it slowly in a way that doesn't get us in trouble for spamming or anything else. So that's the thing that we're going to do. We are going to start, I'll give you a sheet tomorrow that is a contact sheet, and we're going to make sure that we start contacting a certain number of people per week over the next 30 days, just to get the momentum rolling, get conversations started. We're also going to then move into like a blogger.com account, and we're going to, you know, start our own groups and a few other things that are designed to, what we're trying to do is start getting some form of viral growth happening, and we'll talk about some secrets to that. So that's pretty much it. Now, quickly, if you do speak to somebody, one of the things that is absolutely critical is when we start getting people who are contacts, then you've got to communicate with them. Because if you don't communicate with them, then you're going to have, you know, basically the message goes nowhere. So you've got to communicate with these people. The quicker, the better. And the sooner you can get them from online to offline, also the best. You know, that I mean getting them into from a capture page to responding to your emails to getting you on a Skype call or a physical call is going to massively increase your odds. There are so many people. I mean, if we all think back to how many opt-in forms we've filled out in the past and how many people have ever picked up the phone and bothered to ring you, it's not many. So you instantly stand out from the rest. If you're nervous about doing it, don't worry. We'll find there's other means and solutions. But you've got to reach out and contact these people. You know, we know the power of email in finding people. Once somebody's given you their email, now you can find out all kinds of amazing things based on that email so that you can do a better job when you actually speak to these people. So we're going to do that. But as soon as you do make contact with somebody, you know, they've put their details into your advertisements for a reason. And one of the things that obviously has interested them has made them feel it's worthwhile doing that. And they've liked what they've seen. One of the first things you need to do, and you just say to people, you know, John, you're having a look at this, you know, you said you're interested. What I recommend is just go and lock your spot in now. Doesn't cost anything. It's going to take you a couple of minutes of your time, but this is all time stamped, so whoever gets in first gets the benefits later on. So you'd hate to miss out on having, you know, some amazing person underneath you because you just took a little bit too long to fill in your form. So even while you're thinking about it, while you're finding out if it's something you want to do, please just go and sign up for a free affiliate account, and you know, then do your due diligence afterwards. There are two reasons for doing that. First of all, you're actually doing them a huge favour because they are getting locked in. You've probably all heard my story before, but Charles locked me in Christmas. I didn't do anything until July, but there were a whole lot of points. I actually did have a paid account, so that is one of the steps. But I had told him at the time I wouldn't be focusing on it, wouldn't be doing it. But just by having a paid account sitting there, I had hundreds of points accumulated by the time that I started, or hundreds of units accumulated by the time I started, which then makes earning income so much easier. But so you're doing them a favour, you're locking them in, you're getting them a spot above everybody else that comes in. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you're creating interest and a bit of momentum, which people above see. You know, you log in one day and you've got nobody underneath you. You log in the next day and you've suddenly got 2 people there or 3 people there. You know, if that momentum, if everybody's out there doing that, and, you know, if people just spoke to people, got one person a day to do that, at the end of 30 days, you've got a few people underneath you who've all done that. Suddenly you've got 50, 100 people below you. and then people can see the momentum and they can understand. And then when they see the colours pop up that people have bought accounts, it's like, you know, hey John, if you'd I told you to get in, you can see now that there's action happening below you, and each one of those colours represents an opportunity you've missed out on of getting, you know, free points or free units for your dual payout system. So that's always just encourage them straight away. Look, I don't care if you're kicking the tires, I don't care if you say no, just go and get yourself a free account. You'll be thanking me later if you did. Quick conversation with them, get them to do that. It also gauges how serious somebody is. You know, if somebody's going to sign up to something that's going to take them 2 minutes of their life and the upside is huge, then, you know, they're going to do it. But if somebody doesn't do it, it's like, well, you know, if they can't even be bothered to fill out and put their email address on a simple form, what are they going to be like when you start asking them to do tasks and to do marketing and everything else? Because, you know, you're not going to make any money with this if you do nothing. You really need to be working it yourself a bit. You know, the whole philosophy: get a few people who are going to do exactly the same as you. Buy some gold and get a few people. Eventually, your gold is for free. You're creating an income, and you're protecting yourself with a asset that is known to be a very good hedge against inflation and you know, basically financial cycles that are negative. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. So that's it for day one. Go ahead and do that. Day two will be. I'm thinking, and I'm happy for everybody's input here, I'm thinking that maybe I just post each one on in our Skype chat room. How does that work for people, or do people want some other method?
That works for me.
I would say we do a hangout every day, but I think, you know, people find that they can't always do it. You know, I don't want this to be a challenge to find some time to do it. I want this to be a case of each day you know where to look for it, you pick it up, it takes you 30 seconds to read it, and then you go and do an hour on it. So today is going to take a bit longer because we're just kind of setting the scene. In future, it's going to be a very quick, I might just do a quick YouTube video or something on it and just post it. But I do want people taking action every day. And I'm looking at some software that I get that works out leaderboards and things. You know, at the end of the day, it shouldn't be about prizes or anything else. It should just quite simply be that if you want to make money, you're going to start taking these steps to do for yourself. Because if you don't do it, nothing's going to happen. And if you start now, then everything becomes so much easier. So that's it. Did anybody have any questions? Anything they wanted to cover?
I think Oliver and Per Eric are muted. So
I think Oliver can unmute himself if he wants.
Okay.
Should we stop the broadcast now?
I'm trying to unmute Oliver. There you go. If anybody's got any relevant questions that they want before we end the recording, let's do them now. If not, yeah, so if anybody's got any questions now that they want on the recording, fire away. Otherwise, we'll finish the recording, and then it's not long for everyone to watch, and we can answer any questions later. So, any questions, anybody?
I'm all good.
Nope.
All right. Okay, William, if you want to do that. Everybody, good luck. 30 days, 3 new members, and